What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk to you about AMC. They do have their earnings coming up. I want to go over some of the current estimates and what analysts are saying. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So it did close on Monday, $3.36, down 2.04%. Over the last 1 year, down 24.49%, and then over the last 6 months, down 33.47%. Pretty sure everyone knows what AMC does, but in case you don't, this is the company profile, so feel free to pause it and read through it. But aside from that, their earnings is slated for the 25th after hours. Negative 16 cents for the earnings per share is the estimate. 1.3 billion for revenue. Over the last 90 days, 1 positive and 2 negative revisions to the earnings per share. A little bit deeper of a dive. So the earnings per share does work out to be 69.75% year-over-year growth. Negative 23 cents for the low, negative 9 cents for the high, based on 3 analysts' estimates. Revenue 1.3 billion works out to be 17.29% year-over-year growth. 1.2 the low, 1.3 the high. So pretty good stuff. But I think, in all honesty, when it comes down to companies beating on their earnings, it is just future guidance. The market has been extremely cutthroat lately, so any company really giving bad future guidance ultimately just goes down. Doesn't really matter if they hit these metrics or not. But aside from that, looking here at the implied move, 10.88%. So ultimately, roughly around 40 cents in either direction is anticipated based on this column right here. Over the last several earnings, around, I'd say like 85% of the time they do miss. Not necessarily miss on the key metrics itself, but rather the market just sees their overall earnings as a miss. But when they obviously beat, as you can kind of see right here, it does go up pretty dramatically. So when the market sees it as a beat, it goes up like 58%, 30%. Flip side, when it does miss, it does go down equivalently as bad. So just anticipate a lot of volatility. Regardless, I don't think this implied move has ever been correct, but based on the call options that are being purchased, there's a consensus for it to be roughly around that $5 range. Then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub $3. So a little bit more upside is anticipated. 8.83% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 35.74 million shares. You do see some signs of manipulation and some obviously naked shorting, because there is 2.83 million shares on loan, 35.7 being shorted. So of course you can't have more shares shorted than on loan, so something doesn't really jive for that. But aside from that, though, you do see shorts generally returning. So obviously shorts returning leading into a big company event such as their earnings does mean that maybe they feel like there is more upside. Again, that's how I interpret this whatsoever. But with it at $3.36, some support and resistance points just to take note of. It is between this pivot and this S1, so 304 will be a strong support, followed by 279. Flip side, 344, really want to watch for that to get above tomorrow, and then 384 followed by 409 will be the next strong kind of target / resistance points for AMC. This is what analysts are currently saying about AMC. So not a lot in analysts kind of reviews, but $3.63 is that price target, does represent a 8.04% upside. Typically post earnings, you do see, it looks like around like 3 new ratings. If we quickly go back over here for a second, looking at their previous earnings, so their Q3 2024, it looks like there was 2 analysts, one from Barrington, the other one from Wedbush. The one prior to that, it looks like there was 5. So yeah, you might have probably roughly like 3 or 4 new ratings coming out as a byproduct of that. So let me know your viewpoint on it. Are you buying? Are you selling? What is your general takeaway from their earnings? And I'll do a video post earnings just to go over the absolute key highlights that you need to kind of take away from all of it. So give yourself a shout out if you've been buying, if you've been selling, and everything else. With all that said, one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free, link in the description below and also the comments. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat, whether you're talking about options, stocks, crypto, whatever floats your boat, definitely pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.